I'm Layla. Today we're Raid Shadow Legends and we're checking out the lore story for Predator. Again, we have this cool like Alien Predator Badlands collab going on in Raid. And you know what? I'm a Predator fan and I would love to know, are you Team Alien or Team Predator? Make sure you drop me a comment down below. I'm definitely going to be Team Predator, especially, in this instance. And I think they did a great job with the design. Love the sword across the shoulder here. Looks so neat. Now, what they did, if you noticed, is they put Predator in Lizard Man. And so I was kind of watching this because I wanted to see if they would have the Predator camouflage. If you guys are familiar with the Predator movies, that's what they do. They camouflage to basically blend into their backgrounds, right? That's how they hunt because they're predators. And I don't actually see an animation here. I was really hoping that they would do something cool like that. But we do know that Predator gets a perfect veil, so that kind of is, kind of at least fits that. Now, why Predators and Lizard Man? I have no idea. I haven't read the lore story yet. I was waiting for you guys. So let's check that out together. Our world is just a proving ground for that thing. We're all mere trophies to be mounted on its wall. Pray you never see the shimmer of its cloak, for you'll be slain before the night is done. And that's Wallmaster Orthorian. For the Yacha, there is no greater glory than finally overcoming their opponent after a long, grueling battle. The rush of adrenaline as they deliver the killing blow. The hot spurt of their prey's blood as it splatters across their armor and carving a mighty trophy from its still warm body. To become formally recognized as a true-blooded Yasha, a young predator must take part in a ritual hunt to prove their courage, strength, and honor to their clan. This is no grand pageant, complete with feasting and revelry, nor is it a desperate fight for survival. It is a sacred trial where a Yacha will either ascend to join their kin if they succeed, or be cast out as a failure. Protocol dictates that a young Yacha struck a particular malignant beast for the ritual hunt. For the predator that later found its way to Teleria, to hunt a well-documented beast would be too simple, too easy. No, the skull that hangs from their maw must be a marvel. The blood that adorns their armor must be from something that no other predator has claimed. To find such a beast, however, required a journey outside of the known galaxy into a world that had yet to fall prey to the Yacha. This upstart predator eventually found its hunting ground at the end of an unmapped wormhole on the very edge of known space. As its scout ship was violently ejected toward the planet below, the predator had no time for fear. Armed with the time-honored weapons of its people, it emerged from its craft vessel, ready to face this planet's panoply of vicious creatures. Its welcoming party was not the one it hoped for. It was a single human farmer, cowering before the towering invader and marking the god of its god. As wily as humans were, one of their skull would not do, especially one of a weakling like this. The predator activated its camouflage, melting away before the farmer's eyes and disappearing into the wilderness. The peasant thanked Lumea for answering his prayers, though the sight of such a monster would never leave him. The predator ranged across Teleria, seeking that one trophy that would place them above all other Yacha. From feral, dangerous creatures to elven princelings, orc chieftains, ogre enforcers, and rabid skinwalkers, all fell to the thrust of its Colby stick. Heads mounted, but they did not satisfy. The undead held little sport either, lacking the verve for life that made mortal prey so thrilling. Eventually, it found its match in the infernal and immortal. Many a demon spawn locked blades with those of the interstellar hunter, foul magic clashing against Yacha technology. Yet, the predator failed to claim the trophy it so desired. A demon spawn's immortal husk quickly disintegrated upon death, its screaming soul being catapulted back to the wretched spawning pit from which they crawled. Nothing remained of them for the predator to take. As tale of this extraplanar warrior reached the higher strata of Sirat's hierarchy, the true Hellions of Anathrad emerged to take down their challenge. The predator became prey, as an endless array of demon spawn tried to claim its head as a trophy. One denizen of Anathrad who pursued the Yacha was Black Mordril of the Seven Seals. The chase lasted for a week, after exhausting week through the volcanic Dusk Hills. Their final confrontation was a deadly dance of blood and bone, deep within a caldera of roiling steam. Its camouflage, rendered useless by spurting geysers of white hot water, The Predator had to rely on brute strength to overcome the demon spawn warlock. For every chunk of flesh a wrist blade took, Morgul matched with a grievous cut from a hex razor. In their final, desperate struggle, Morgul gained the upper hand, towering over the Predator. His demon spawn arrogance saw him linger for a brief second too long. A sneer spread across his bloodied face as he prepared to plunge his knife into the Predator's chest. In that single, wavering moment of pride, the Predator let out a single, derisory click. It turned the Warlock's face to bubbling pitch with a well-timed plasma caster shot. A Yachtja would never make such a mistake. Despite a sea of bodies in its wake, the Predator's hunt continues. The promise of that desired prize calls from over the next horizon, and the Predator will not cease until the Sculpt Layer's apex Predator is proudly hung in the trophy room. Okay, I like the story that they did for the Predator. I guess what I'm kind of not fond of is how they don't explain how Predator fits into Lizard Man. I'd like to know what you guys think of that. Like, do you think that Lizard Man is the best place for Predator? I'm not really sure. Like, in some ways, because of the code that they follow, I almost feel like Barbarian, possibly. I'm not really sure. Like, this is kind of a tough one. I'm just also not sure if Lizard Man, I think, is where they fit. Maybe because, you know, like in the movies, when you see that the helmet comes off, you see the kind of creature that they are. Like, obviously, they're not human. So maybe that's why Raid didn't want to put them in kind of a human faction, you know, like a barbarian or something. But I'm also not sure how I feel about Lizard Man. Maybe that was the best option. I'm honestly not really sure. Let me know what you guys think. I almost feel like in some ways, because of how they are, they could fit into Orc, Barbarian. Maybe those two, I guess. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this. It's kind of a tough one. Usually it's kind of easy to figure out where some of these champs belong. This one's a bit tough. But I would love to know what you guys think. And what do you guys think about having the Predator in Raid? That is kind of cool, right? Like, I'm definitely a Predator fan. I think this is neat. I'm happy to see him in the game. I would love to know what you guys think of that. Make sure you drop me a comment down below on, what do you think of this whole thing, like, in general? Would you choose a different faction for Predator? Are you gonna go for Predator? Actually, is probably like one of the biggest questions, right? I would love to know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.